In 2021, Netflix spent just $21 million to produce Squid Game. In return, that show generated nearly $1 billion in value for the company. It became a global phenomenon, not just because the story was good, but because it was one of the rare foreign shows Netflix spent serious money to dub properly into English. But here is the problem. Squid Game is the exception, not the rule. Right now, Netflix is sitting on a massive library of foreign content, Korean thrillers, Spanish dramas, Indian comedies that 80% of you will never watch. Why? Because you hate subtitles, and Netflix can't afford to fix it because traditional dubbing is painfully expensive. But what if that changed overnight? What if the cost to unlock that library dropped from the price of a luxury car to the price of a nice dinner? Today, we are talking about Netflix stock, but not the boring earnings stuff everyone else talks about. I'm going to show you a hidden AI asset sitting on their balance sheet that Wall Street is completely missing, a shift that could triple their effective library size for zero production cost. Now, before we dive into this rabbit hole, let's make a deal. I am not a financial advisor, and I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just a guy obsessed with finding the numbers that don't add up. Don't buy or sell anything based on a YouTube video. Always do your own research. But if you like making money by seeing what others miss, smash that like button. Now, let's look at the arbitrage. To understand why Netflix stock is undervalued, you have to understand how broken the current system is. For decades, dubbing has been an artisan process. It's manual, it's slow, and it defies the laws of digital scale. Here's the math. Traditional, professional dubbing costs about $150 per minute. If you want to dub a single movie into just 7 languages, you're looking at a bill of roughly $47,000, and that's just for the audio. If you want lip sync, where the mouth actually matches the words, add another $800 per language in surcharges. It's not just money, it's time. It takes 6 to 12 weeks to localize a show for a global release. In the internet age, that is an eternity. This high cost creates a gatekeeper. Netflix can only justify dubbing the massive hits like Stranger Things. Everything else? It stays locked in its local language, effectively dead inventory to the rest of the world. But watch what happens when we introduce generative AI. We aren't just talking about robot voices anymore. We're talking about technology like visual dubbing or vubbing. This is the prestige of our magic trick. Technology from companies like Flawless AI and DeepDub can now take an actor's performance and digitally alter their mouth movements to match a new language. It gets rid of that uncanny valley feeling where the audio and video don't match, the main reason US audiences hate dubbed movies. And the cost? It collapses. We are seeing AI dubbing services priced as low as $1 to $10 per minute. That is a cost reduction of nearly 99%. And instead of taking 12 weeks, it takes 24 hours. Think about what this means for Netflix. Suddenly, it becomes economically rational to take a niche Swedish documentary and dub it into Thai, Vietnamese, and Turkish for pennies. They don't just save money, they flood the system with content. Let's look at the scale of this opportunity. This is the hidden library theory. In the first half of 2025, you guys streamed over 94 billion hours of content on Netflix. Crucially, 30% of that viewing was non-English titles. In markets like France and Germany, 90% of the catalog is foreign content. Right now, that content is operating at a fraction of its potential because of the language barrier. But we know for a fact that if you remove that barrier, the numbers explode. When the German show Dark was released, 78% of US viewers chose the dubbed version over subtitles. For Money Heist, localization increased viewership outside of Spain by 80%. Imagine buying a 10-bedroom mansion, but you only have the keys to the kitchen. You're paying for the whole house, but you're only using 10% of it. That is Netflix right now. This AI technology hands them the keys to the other 9 bedrooms. They don't need to build a new house. They just need to unlock the doors to the rooms they already own. So how does this make us money? Wall Street values Netflix based on two things: retention and margins. First, let's talk about the savings. Netflix spends roughly $4.5 billion a year on localization and technical workflows. If they can move even half of that to AI-assisted workflows, we are looking at $1 billion in annual savings by 2027. That is pure profit that goes straight to the bottom line. But the bigger play is the moat. Disney Plus relies on Star Wars and Marvel, IP where you know the actor's voice. You know what Robert Downey Jr. sounds like. But Netflix? Their growth comes from new stories like Squid Game or Lupin. You don't know those actors' voices. You are much more likely to accept an AI-dubbed voice for a new character than a famous one. If Netflix can effectively double the amount of watchable content in the US without spending a dime on new production, their cost per hour viewed plummets. Lower costs plus higher engagement equals margin expansion. Most analysts are projecting 15% growth based on price hikes. They're missing the efficiency growth. My model suggests that as this AI tech matures, Netflix's operating margins could push from 25% to 35%. When margins go up, the stock price usually follows. Now, I'm not saying this is risk-free. There is a deepfake stigma. If Netflix messes this up and the lips look glitchy or if the AI lacks emotion, it could hurt their premium brand. And we can't ignore the labor issue. Unions like SAG-AFTRA are fighting hard to protect human voice actors, which might slow this rollout for the top-tier shows. But the trend is undeniable. We are moving towards a world where language is no longer a barrier to entertainment. Netflix is building the infrastructure to become the world's most efficient translation engine. They are turning a fixed cost, production, into a scalable asset. That is the $50 billion opportunity that isn't priced in yet. I'd love to know what you think. Would you watch a movie if you knew the actor's lips were being moved by AI, or is that too Black Mirror for you? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.